Hello and welcome to my channel, Islamic Finance Unboxed. Today, we will consider Zakat and tax instruments together. We will consider their similarities and differences, and whether they are alternatives to each other. Let's move on. Imagine working hard all year, paying your income tax, VAT, and other government fees, then wondering, do I still have to pay Zakat on top of this? Many Muslims ask, is Zakat just another form of Islamic tax? And if I already pay taxes, does that count as Zakat in the eyes of Islam? In this video, we'll unpack the history, principles, and real-world debate behind this important question. Understanding Zakat. Definition: Zakat is not just charity, it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. A divine obligation, not a state law. Purpose: purifies wealth, supports the poor, needy, debtors, travelers, and other categories mentioned in the Quran, Surah At-Tawbah 9 hours 60 minutes. Rate: commonly 2.5% on savings, investments, and certain assets, not on income itself. Spiritual dimension: it's an act of worship, bringing barakah, blessing, and fulfilling social justice. Key difference: unlike tax, Zakat is about both spiritual accountability to Allah and social redistribution. What are taxes? Definition: taxes are state-imposed financial obligations to fund public goods, roads, schools, defense, healthcare. Secular nature: they are legal, civic duties, not tied to spiritual accountability. Variable rates: income tax, property tax, VAT differ country by country and can be much higher or lower than Zakat. Use of funds: governments may use taxes for things permissible in Islam, but also sometimes for activities that go against Sharia. Point of friction: this is where Muslims ask, if both money goes to help society, shouldn't one replace the other? Providing social assistances make an easy to reduction of poverty, and it enhances the social order. This very similar to Zakat's social motivation. Are Zakat and tax the same? Superficial similarity: both are compulsory deductions on wealth or income. Fundamental difference: Zakat is an act of worship tied to faith. Tax is a legal duty tied to citizenship. Recipients: Zakat has 8 fixed categories. Taxes can be spent anywhere, even on military, luxury projects, or interest-based debts. Accountability: Zakat is between believer and Allah. Tax is between citizen and government. Result: paying one doesn't cancel the other. Classical and modern scholarly views. Classical fiqh scholars: paying government tax does not free one from Zakat. The Quranic obligation remains. Modern debates: some governments, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, collect Zakat alongside tax. In Turkey, there is no structural mechanism for Zakat, while taxes are very high. In welfare states, some Muslims argue taxes already achieve Zakat's social justice purpose. Mainstream scholars still emphasize intention, niyah. Without niyah for Zakat, tax remains tax. Case study: Malaysia has Zakat institutions separate from tax offices. Muslims are encouraged to pay both, though Zakat payments may reduce taxable income. Contemporary challenges. Double burden: many Muslims feel squeezed, paying high taxes and Zakat. Governance issue: in some Muslim countries, corruption makes people doubt both systems. Faith versus law: a believer cannot replace a divine duty with a civic one. If taxes rise to 30%, Zakat at 2.5% still stands. Digital age: with apps and Islamic fintech, Zakat is easier to calculate and distribute fairly than relying on government tax systems. The social structure of governments is critical to find accurate solution of this debate. If the state defines itself as a social government like EU countries, Zakat might be thought as unnecessary. Because government commits minimum welfare salary for the citizens who doesn't have any regular income. Alongside this, social rights are under the commitment of government without any fee. In this context, what would be functionality of Zakat structure? On the other hand, non-social government like USA not commits the education and health for all community members. Social security system works while the person who provide contribution to system. The not surprising result of this system might be homeless person. When we compare taxes with Zakat, we quickly realize that the two serve very different purposes, yet both are essential for society. Taxes are the backbone of the state. They finance roads, schools, healthcare, and security. They maintain the visible infrastructure that keeps a country functioning. But what taxes cannot easily build is trust, empathy, and moral responsibility. That is where Zakat steps in. Zakat is not simply another form of taxation. It is a spiritual obligation that purifies wealth and strengthens community bonds. When a Muslim gives Zakat, they are not only helping the poor, they are reminding themselves that their wealth is a trust from God, not just personal property. This creates a cycle of care where the rich do not forget the poor, and the poor do not feel abandoned. Another key difference is in enforcement. Taxes are imposed by law. You must pay them, whether you agree or not. Zakat, however, is driven primarily by conscience and devotion. It is an act of worship, a deliberate choice to honor God through generosity. Even when collected through institutions, its essence remains spiritual. This makes Zakat far more than a civic duty. It becomes a direct connection between wealth and worship. And this is something taxes can never achieve. Taxes may build bridges and power plants, but Zakat builds compassion, dignity, and faith. It transforms giving into a form of worship, turning money into a tool for spiritual growth as well as social justice. The truth is, both systems can and should coexist. Taxes maintain the state. Zakat maintains the soul of society. One ensures that public services function, the other ensures that society remains compassionate and spiritually grounded. A nation may survive on taxes alone, but it can only truly thrive when Zakat is also practiced. The deeper wisdom. Taxes may build infrastructure, but Zakat builds community trust and empathy. Taxes are enforced by law. Zakat is driven by conscience and devotion. Zakat creates a direct link between wealth and worship, something taxes cannot achieve. Both can coexist. One maintains the state, the other maintains the soul of society. So, does paying tax mean you don't have to pay Zakat? The answer is clear. No. Taxes serve the state. Zakat serves Allah. Both are important, but one cannot cancel the other. Once the Zakat structure was established with Islam, there was no governmental tax system. Social order was aiming with Zakat. When governmental structures are enlarged, the current dual and similar system has appeared as an unavoidable manner. Fintechs and decentralized finances are modern instrument. In accordance with the civilization, modernity should find a ground every side of the life, like religious. From this perspective, faith-based regulations can be restructured with trendy tools. What do you think? Should modern governments integrate Zakat into the tax system, or should they always remain separate? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into Islamic finance.